And for this break, I'd like to welcome Kavi Chongkittavorn, the ASEAN expert, to talk with us in Asean Business Report about this recent development of Kim Jong Il's death and its impact on the security of the region. สวัสดีครับ คุณกวี
สวัสดีค่ะ Following the death of Mr. Kim Jong Il, Kun Kavi, what could be the impact of his death to Thailand?
Well, I think the most immediate impact would be the influx of so-called refugees, because in the past 10 years, there are a lot of North Korean refugee or displaced persons travel through China to the northern Thailand. And this period will cause a lot of uncertainty. If there is a peaceful transition, then the number of refugees will be stabilized. But I'm afraid that from now on, we will have more North Korean refugees arrive in Chiang San. At the moment, on the average, it's 4 persons a day.
The average was already 4 persons.
So
how do you see it's going to spike to?
Well, because if the transition is not peaceful, it will cause a lot of anxiety among the North Korean. At the moment, as you know, there are a lot of North Korean leaving the country because of the economic difficulties. And these will add to the problems. And I hope that Kim Jong-un will be able to take the place of his father as quick as possible. We will have to see. But certainly there will be a period of anxiety and it's rather unpredictable situation.
Well, can you elaborate more on the unpredictability of North Korea and the security of the region? How is South Korea going to react? How is Japan going to react, the immediate neighbors?
Well, South Korea is already put on alert because every time there is a transition in North Korea, there would be a strange political development. For example, in the past 2 years, the tension between North Korea and South Korea were very high simply because Kim Jong-un have to prove his leadership. And the North Korean has attacked Yongbyon, the island. And many South Korean intelligence said that it was the work of Kim Jong-un to prove that he's strong and have the leadership qualities. And during this period, I think the whole world has to watch carefully because it will impact on the Korean Peninsula overall. And of course, the incoming the six-party talk, which has been some indications that North Korea would like to renew again. But with the death of Kim Jong-il, I think it will be delayed further.
What about for Japan, Kun Kavi? How would the relations be?
Oh, Japan has been very bad all along because of the historical relation. But Japan would like to look at new leadership with some more pragmatic approach, particularly on economic reform. But Kim Jong-un must follow his father's footsteps because he will be controlled by the much more senior high command of the military commission. So I think we have to watch carefully.
Yeah, and as this is still the first day of the receiving of this news, there's nothing we can really predict much right now because, like you said, it's a pretty unstable country.
Yes.
So what about the bigger players? How is China going to react to this? What is China wanting to see from the reform?
Well, China has one very clear objective. China wants to see North Korea that is stable, conducive for investment and doing business. And that is why China wants incremental reform inside North Korea. Because North Korea is still a very huge market for China. Any abrupt change or regime change will impact on the border of China and North Korea. For example, the influx of refugees, it will destabilize the northern China. So China has been very patient in providing all kinds of assistance, including electricity and some expertise in economic reform in the past years. But then radical change have not yet taken place in North Korea.
I see.
The United States has not come out to give an official statement regarding this matter. What do you expect to be the reactions of the United States?
America will just stay quiet because they have to watch carefully. They're close touch with Korea and Japan, so close ally because there could be untoward development within Korea. For example, power struggle. You have to remember that Kim Jong-un is very young, 28 in experience, and what the North Korean describe as Daejang, the 4-star general. But we still have to see whether there is acceptance from the military high command or not. So far, I think so good.
And with the heightened American involvement in this region, as they said, they'll step up more policies of engagement with old allies, and particularly Hillary Clinton's visit to Myanmar, and saying that it must sever ties, nuclear ties with Pyongyang. Will this have any more developments within Myanmar?
Well, it's very interesting because the United States would like to promote non-proliferation in the region, particularly in Burma, Myanmar, because of the close relation that's been developed in the past 10 years between Pyongyang and Naypyidaw. And Clinton's visit to Naypyidaw recently has told the Burmese that the government there must severe relation, particularly on the current cooperation on missile technologies and nuclear. So I think that will be one of the biggest issues that North Korea has to contemplate. But I think the new leader must be aware, because United States focus very much on this non-proliferation of nuclear issue.
I see, Kun Kavi. And can you sum it up for today? What are the factors that we have to keep our attention and observe on for now?
Well, I think there will be a period of a lot of anxiety because we don't know whether Kim Jong-un will receive full support from the military high command. Secondly, will there be continuation of the previous policy, or there will be more liberal economic reform, which will be good. And I think other countries outside North Korea, particularly Japan and South Korea, will be very receptive and will move forward to provide assistance to North Korea.
I see. So let me just sum up what I understand from you right now. So there's two ways that this could go with the transition in North Korea being abruptly showing more military prowess,
yes,
or slowly more conservative reforms.
Yeah, and accommodating, yes. But it has to be incremental. And regime changes in the past is no longer an option. So it's much better to see changes take place in North Korea incrementally with reform, just like what happened in Burma with pressure from abroad.
I see. So we'll have to just wait and see what will happen. And for now, we'll take a short break right here, and ASEAN Business Report will be back with more regional news.